Welcome to the domestic wiring lecture of basic electrical engineering. Today we will be looking into the domestic wiring part of the basic electrical engineering. In this topic, we will be studying various aspects of wiring, how the connection is received from the electric pole mount substation or electric pole to the houses. Okay. And inside house, how the connection is being done. Okay. What are the circuits elements we will be using in the domestic wiring. Okay. What are the devices, control devices, protecting devices we use in the domestic wiring. Okay. We will be studying in this topic in the first part and the type of wiring. In the second part, we will look into how the grounding makes an important issue to be addressed, okay, when we do the electric wiring, not only for domestic applications, for any other applications. Okay, so whenever we have or wherever we have the electricity flowing, grounding plays a very important role to avoid a lot many hazards that can be caused due to uncertainty or due to the faults occurring in the system. Okay, so in the second part, we look into the grounding, why the grounding is necessary, and what are the different types of grounding schemes. Okay. In the third part, we will be looking into the protection system. Okay. We will be looking into the protection protective devices. Okay. There are various protective devices we have in the electrical system, like fuse, circuit breakers, miniature circuit breakers, earth leakage circuit breakers. Okay. All those things we will be looking into in the third part of the discussion. So let us start with the domestic wiring part one, okay, that is service mains. Okay. So this is a common electric pole that we see near our houses. Okay, many wire connections are taken to most of the all the houses what are located in the localities. Okay, so you can see here the two wires are running at the top of the pole. One is phase wire and other is neutral wire. So this is a single phase supply. If there are three phase supply, then there may be four wires or three wires, depending upon the type of connection, whether it is a three phase three wire or it is a three phase four wire. Generally, it will be a three phase four wire, R, Y, B, and neutral, from where I can take three single phases from R to neutral, Y to neutral, or B to neutral. Okay, so here it is shown there is only single phase supply available. Okay, so phase and neutral. So from this phase and neutral, okay, it is given to this house. Okay, and it is not directly connected to the appliances. The phase and neutral connection is given through to the meter board, where this energy meter will register the amount of energy that this house is consuming, based upon which the electricity bill is given to the consumer, and the electricity billing will be done based on the readings of this energy meter. Okay, so these are two wires, okay, from phase and neutral, and we have one more wire at the top. You can see this is a messenger wire which will be acting like a support. Okay, it is acting like a support between the house and the pole. Okay, and to using the insulators. So these round balls type structures what we are seeing, these are the insulators, because phase and neutral should never come in contact. That is a dead short circuit of supply system. So therefore, to maintain a sufficient or safe distance between phase and neutral wire, we use insulators. Okay, and through this pipe, GI pipe, we use galvanized iron, because GI pipe will not rust. Okay, the oxidation of GI pipe is very less. So therefore, even when this GI pipe is exposed to the outer atmosphere with various weather conditions, this will not rust. So that is the reason why we use GI pipe rather than using any other mild steel pipes. Okay, and through this meter board, the connection is given to the all the appliances inside the house. Okay, so this is an pole which is RCC pole, or it can be a metallic pole. Earlier, metallic poles were used, but now they are preferring RCC poles. Okay, this is a stay wire. There is a misconception that this wire will also carry current. No, this wire is for only the mechanical support for the pole. Okay, and this wire is also not grounded because we are using one shackle type of insulator here in between the support and the ground. Okay, so generally this wire will not carry current. This is just for a mechanical support, and this kind of support you observe when the pole is situated at the corner of the road. In the mid of the road, we generally don't get this kind of support. If there is a turning of the connection, or if there is a corner of the road, or if the road ends where there is no further connection of beyond this pole, this kind of support wire is used. Okay, so this is how the electricity flows into the house from the electricity mains. So this is service mains. Okay. This is one kind of connection. This we call it as overhead connection. Okay, because all the connections will be running overhead from the top of the pole to the top of the house. Another type of service main connection is underground cable. The same connection can be given through underground cable. Okay, so underground cabling will improve the beauty of the connection. Okay, and also the underground cabling is more safer, because in the overhead cabling, what happens if the wire tears off, if there is a disconnection of the wire, there is a tendency that the wire may come in contact with this pole or with the outer part of the house, or it may come in contact directly to the ground, which will create a short circuit. But whereas in underground cable, that danger is not there. Okay, the physical damage occurring to the cable is very less until and unless there is a unknown digging of the surface. Okay, without knowing that there is a cable. Okay, if that is done, then only there is a physical damage occurring to this cable, or else underground cabling is more safer. But one thing is, when we do underground cabling, more safety measures are to be taken. Lot of insulation has to be given. So underground cabling becomes more expensive when compared to overhead cabling. Yeah. So this is one more type of service mains connection from the poles to the houses. Okay. This is a meter board again. Okay. We use GI pipe. Okay. Uh, so when we put the cable underground, we should make sure that the top surface of that cable, okay, is strong enough to withstand any kind of impacts that will not damage the cabling system. So this is a typical house wiring system. You can see this is a meter board. Okay. So from the wires, the supply is coming to this meter board. Now from the meter board, the supply is going to all the appliances. Okay. So this meter board will get a supply from the mains to it. So this meter board will register the amount of energy consumed. It is a integrating type of instrument. Every month the readings goes on increasing. Okay. Then it is a main switch. Okay, where it will control the all appliances of the house. If this switch is turned off, then all the appliances in the house are turned off. Okay, this is a single control switch, or we call it as a main switch. Okay, then after main switch, there are many switchboards that we use, so that I can connect any number of appliances that I need. So you can call this as sub-circuit 1, sub-circuit 2, sub-circuit 3, sub-circuit 4. You can visualize this sub-circuit as a single meter switchboard in your each room. In your each room, we know that there is a switchboard which is connected to a fan, a lamp, a open switch, or a open plug pin connection for any kind of external appliances to be connected. That is one sub-circuit. So each room switchboard you can consider it as one sub-circuit. Okay, so from mains it will come to meter board, from meter board to main switch, from main switch to all the sub circuits. Okay, so this is a typical house wiring scheme. There are various types of winding schemes or winding methods, cleat wiring, surface wiring. Okay, all those are not there for our study, and also those kind of wirings are now become obsolete. Those kind of wirings we generally don't use. Okay, general kind of wiring what we use are surface conduit wiring and concealed conduit wiring. Okay, if you see the recently constructed houses, you won't find the wiring pipes running on the walls. All the connections are given concealed inside the walls before plastering. Okay, so this kind of wiring is known as surface conduit wiring. All these pipes are nothing but conduits. Okay, these are called conduits. Okay, so all these conduits are placed on the surface of the wall or on the surface of the ceiling. Okay, hence it is called a surface conduit wiring, where the wires will run inside this conduit, and you can observe these are the lamps controlled by the switches. Okay, this is another image of surface conduit wiring. So surface conduit wiring are preferred in the spaces where there is a large accumulation of people, where people density is more, because safety is also more. If any hazard occurs, immediately that hazard can be controlled. And generally, surface conduit wiring is also used in industries. Okay, industry doesn't use concealed conduit wiring because industry happens. So, from point of view, consider surface conduit wiring. If for the maintenance works to be taken out, it can be taken out very easily. Okay, so there are two types of conduits. One is non-metallic conduits, which we generally use PVC pipes, and there are metallic conduits, which generally we use GI pipes. Okay, or steel pipes. In both the cases, you see that the conduits are running over the surface of the walls, and these will not be concealed. They will be there, visible all the time. So other type of wiring is a concealed conduit wiring. Okay, the concealed conduit wiring is that type of wiring where the conduits what you see on the outer surface of the walls are concealed inside the walls before the final plastering is done. Okay? So this kind of wiring is most popular today for domestic applications because this will improve the aesthetics of the room, aesthetics of the house. So it will be more beautiful. Okay, the room will be looking more beautiful. Only you can see the switchboards on the walls. You will not see the wire conduits running all over the walls. So this is a concealed conduit. This is a conduit which is not yet concealed. In the process of concealing it is. So a trench will be made in the on the wall. A groove will be prepared on the wall so that these conduits will be placed, and above this plastering is done. Okay, so when the plastering is done, you can observe there are no conduits observed on the surface of the wall. All these conduits what we see are concealed within, and the wires are run in those conduits, and only the end connections are available on the walls. So this kind of wiring is known as concealed conduit wiring. You can observe in the second image that the wires are running inside the wall. Okay, but one thing with the concealed conduit wiring, it is more costlier than the surface conduit wiring because it takes more care. It needs more care to be taken while we are using the materials. Generally, the materials what we use, the wires what we use are oversized wires for a given application. Suppose for a domestic wiring, I want to use 1.5 square mm wire. I may be using 2.5 square mm for the sake of safety. That in future, even if the load increases, the wiring need not be replaced repeatedly. Okay. The advantages of the concealed conduit wiring: it is safe. Appearance is safe because uh, I can't touch the live wires. Okay, it is concealed inside, so live wires will not be touched by anyone. So that is safe. Appearance is good. Okay, no risk of fire or mechanical wear and tear. Okay, no risk of electric shock because wires are inside. The life of the wiring is long. Okay, reliable and popular wiring system because it makes the building appear beautiful. It becomes popular. Okay, and can be used even in humidity, chemical effect, or smoky areas because the wiring is concealed inside. Whatever the external atmospheric conditions are there, that will not affect the wiring system. So these are the advantages of concealed conduit wiring. The disadvantage is that it is expensive. Okay, because I have to use more materials, oversized wires, so it becomes expensive. Okay, if there are any faults, it is hard to find. But today there are devices which can locate the faults very easily. There are scan based devices are there. Depending upon the thermal image analysis, it will detect where exactly the fault has occurred, depending upon the local hotspots created because of the fault currents. or short circuits occurring. Today it is easy, but generally when the concealed conduit wiring was introduced in practice, it was very difficult to find the defects or the faults because all the wires are concealed within. They are buried into the walls, and those were not visible easily to our eyes. Okay. The installation is not easy and simple because it has to be decided before the final plastering or the final construction of the building happens. Once this is done, okay, alteration in the wiring system becomes very difficult because again we have to make the grooves in the plastered wall, which may again affect the aesthetics of the wall. So that becomes complex process of installation. Okay? And the same thing, when there is an additional connection to be given in the future, it becomes complicated because all the connections have to be decided at very earlier stage. Okay, if there are any future enhancements to be done, it becomes difficult. These are the main disadvantages of concealed conduit wiring. Okay, so what are the factors that I have to look into when the wiring has to be chosen? Okay, any type of wiring, whether it is a concealed surface conduit, concealed conduit, plate type wiring, uh, uh, pin type wiring, whatever the type of wiring we may be using, what are the general factors that we have to take care or we have to take into account before the wiring is being chosen? The first is durability. Whatever the type of wiring I may be choosing, it should be durable. That is the first necessity, because every year I cannot change the wiring system. It will become very expensive if the durability is low. Okay, the durability will include the quality of materials what I use, the type of connections what I give, the type of scheme what I choose, yeah, and the way how I install the wiring. Okay, all these will come under durability, and the type of wiring what I choose should be uh, durable irrespective of the external conditions, weather conditions or fumes or whatever. Okay. Then safety, it should be safe, because if it is not safe, then wiring is not necessary at all. If it is a hazardous, then we don't prefer that kind of wiring system. Okay. So when the electricity utilization was started decades before, okay, decades before in the sense some around 50, 60 years back, when the electricity was use of electricity was started, people were very much feared and skeptical or scared about the safety. It was believed that if current comes to house, everybody will die because of shock. Okay, so government took a lot of pain to make to create awareness among the people that electricity is much more efficient than any other kind of energy source what we use in our house, like kerosene lamps or burning of candles and all. Okay, so it took a lot of strain to the electricity board that they need to advertise for the use of electricity, because at that point of time there was abundance in generation, there was no utilization by the common man. Okay, so they advertised to consume energy. Today we are advertising to save energy, but some around 50, 60 years back, they advertised to consume energy, electricity, to consume electricity. So it was only because of safety. So people thought long back then that if electricity is installed, if electric system is installed, then they are unsafe because they may die of shock. Okay, that is one safety, that is a just point when the electricity utilization started in India. This was the plight, okay, which I heard from my grandparents. Okay, safety becomes a very important factor, uh, because if it is not safe, then I don't use it. It applies for everything. Even if I take a smallest of the component what I want to use in everyday life, if it is not safe for me, generally I don't prefer that. And electricity is such a entity that has to be dealt very safely. Okay, so safety becomes another factor which has to be considered while choosing the wiring system. Okay, so it should be safe against leakage. Leakage in the sense current, leakage current. The current should not be flowing in the parts of the wiring where it should not flow. That in the insulator, It should not flow through the body of a device. It should not flow through the walls. Okay, so the leakage should be prohibited. Then shock and fire hazards should be considered, and appropriate measures should be taken that shock and fire hazards will not occur on the operating personnel. Okay. Third point is appearance, because I will be investing a lot of money to build my house. If it doesn't look good, then I will not be happy. This is a definite, a natural feeling of any human being. Okay, so the appearance should be good. Whatever the type of winding I choose, aesthetically it should be appealing, rather than it will damage the beauty of the building. Okay, then cost, obviously. Okay, which is ultimately everything will come at the cost, at the point of the cost only. Okay, so we can't say it should be too cheap. It should not be excessively costly. Okay, the type of wiring what I choose should not be excessively costly. Okay, very cheap in the sense we have to use underrated materials, which is not good for safety and reliability. So cost, the wiring should be cost effective. Whatever the cost I am paying to the wiring, it should give that kind of durability, life, and safety. Accessibility, accessibility in the sense operating switches. Okay, I can't install switches beyond 5 feet or 6 feet. Okay, so the switch and plug points what we use, okay, those should be very much accessible. Okay, so that for a normal person he can use the switches and plug pins or plug points easily, and those should not be. And one more thing what I observed in my house, now I'm in a rented house, the accessibility is so easy. Now even my 1.5 year daughter can access the plug points, so that has become a headache. So the wiring system should be such that it should not be accessible for infants, because they won't be knowing the danger of what happens. Okay, so what I have to do is I have to completely seal that plug point only, because we will not be knowing at what point the kids will be doing at what work. So they may go and directly put their fingers. Their fingers will be very small. They just put the fingers in the plug point. If the switch is on, then life hazard may occur. So accessibility doesn't mean that it should be easily accessible for everybody. Accessibility should be along with the safety. Okay. So the switch and plug point should be accessible, easily accessible for the adults, but should not be easily accessible for the infants or kids, where they don't know what is the main utilization of the system. Okay, and if there are any possibility of extension, that has to be provided. Possibility of extension has to be provided, because in future the load definitely will increase in every house, so the possibility of extension must be provided. So only you can see there will be some dummy points provided with sealing roses or plug points which are terminally sealed. Those will not be utilized today, but in future if the connection has to be given, then that sealed point or a sealing rose point can be used for future connections. So that is provision for further extension. Okay, maintenance cost must be less. It should be less maintenance. Maintenance cost will be less only when I take care of durability. Less durable, more maintenance. More durable, less maintenance. Okay, mechanical safety, the type of connections and all things what I provide should be so firm that those mechanical installations should not come out, whatever may be the type of wiring I may be choosing. Okay, so mechanically it should be safe. No, anybody cannot randomly drag the wires out. Okay, and the mechanical firm, the connection should be mechanically firm, so that the disconnections should not cause any kind of hazard or fault. Okay, so these are the factors which we have to consider while we take the wiring scheme in our domestic applications. Okay. Next is two-way and three-way control of lamp. This part of explanation is done in the lab while conducting the practicals. Okay, so I don't think it is necessary to repeat it again here. Okay, it is the reason why it was dealt in detail in the lab, that it is automatically covered in the class though. And there we have seen practically the same thing is been followed here. The same circuit diagram is used. So two-way control of lamp is achieved to control the lamp from two different points, especially in the staircase. So basically this kind of wiring is known as staircase wiring. Okay, so uh, a single lamp can be controlled from two different points. Okay, so this is a two-way control of lamp or two-way switch. For that I have to use a two-way switch. A normal switch may not be giving this application, so I have to use a two-way switch. Okay, then three-way control of lamp. Three-way control of lamp is used, or multiple way control of lamp is used to control the lamp condition from various points. Okay, I want to control the lamp from various points. This kind of lamp connections are generally used in corridors, long corridors or godowns. This is also called as godown wiring or warehouse wiring. Okay, so generally we use where the long corridors or godowns are there. This kind of control of lamps we use. A single lamp can be controlled from three different points, and in this we use intermediate switches. And these intermediate switches can be operated with a straight connection or a cross connection. Depending upon the straight or cross connection of the intermediate switch, the positions of switch S1 and S2 will decide whether the lamp is on or off. So the table, the control table, whatever you see, okay, you can go through. It is already been explained in detail. Okay. So this is all about the three-way control of lamp and first part of the wiring system. Okay. So with this, we'll end the first part of the wiring system, domestic wiring. Okay. Next part is the earthing, necessity of earthing, and the types of earthing. Okay, that will look into uh, look into it in the next session.